Hi everyone, it's David from Lempower here. Welcome to another episode of Invest Power series today. I want to talk a little bit about off-market deals today. Just because of the fact that this off-market deal seems to be what everyone is harping on these days, and there seems to be a holy grail around the whole idea of an off-market deal. So for that reason, I want to actually demystify a little bit about what off-market deals is and what are some of the common things that you may want to be watching out for in an off-market deal, because the chances are not all off-market deals are real deals. Let's put it that way. And I'll tell you guys why, because I've had agents reaching out to me to say this is an excellent off-market deal, but after my own assessment, it doesn't always turn out to be that way. So I thought a couple things that which I thought I'll share myself, and that could help you with your journey dealing with off-market deals down the track. Okay, so the first misconception about off-market deal is that agents want to create some rarity for this deal, so that you think that this is an excellent deal. It hasn't gone onto market yet, so therefore it must be really, really good. Now that is a misconception. Okay, just because the agent tells you that it's an off-market deal doesn't necessarily mean that it is really that great. Now, a couple of reasons why. When they say off-market deals, basically they're giving you a first dib into the property. And by doing that, you feel somehow privileged because you're like a VIP, right? Like a VIP, you actually have a first dip into a listing that hasn't actually gone on to realestate.com.au or domain.com.au, that kind of website. So you actually get access to this property. And usually what happens is there's limited information online that the agent will give you. For example, they'll give you a couple photos, they'll tell you some very basic information about the property. But on that basis, it may not necessarily be comprehensive. So first thing you need to assess is, are there enough information for me for this property to be able to make the judgment and make a decision on whether this is really a good off-market deal. Okay, just because it's packaged and you were being told that it's off-market deal, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a great deal. On top of that, you might not be the only one that the agent have told you that this is an off-market deal. Just imagine, the agent would probably most likely have a whole listing of the buyers, potential buyers that they maintain, and by just doing a broadcast of all the emails, they could be sending that out to hundreds, if not thousands, of potential buyers, and advertising it as off-market deal in that scenario, gives you that false perception that this is a great deal and you really, really therefore should consider that. So just be careful about the misconception around the off-market deal, because it was basically repackaged as like a rarity. But in all instances, again, do your due diligence just to make sure that yes, the numbers do stack up, and ask for more information. If you don't have all the information you've got in order to make a decision, don't make a decision. Now, the second thing to watch out in relation to off-market deals is about agent pushing you to make a decision quickly. This is quite a common thing that the agents would do because of the fact that, by advertising it as an off-market deal, there's a sense of, there's a time urgency there. Hey, the off-market deal is not going to last long. I'm actually planning to actually put this listing out on the market by the end of this week. Today is Wednesday. So if you are interested into the deal, let me know straight away before it goes out to the market. So, they're creating some sense of urgency for you to be able to make a quick decision, not necessarily one that you want to put yourself into. And that's different. So, just need to be careful there. Don't let the agents push you to the point where, hey, this is a really good off-market deal and I need to make a decision in the next 24 hours. Again, if you don't have enough information from the listing, from what the agent has provided, just ask for more. And if you can't make that decision, then that's okay, because chances are, if the agent's not giving you that information in the timely manner that you need, then there might be, first of all, there could be something that the agent doesn't want to disclose. So, like you're buying without all the information and you're making a rush decision, which is very, very dangerous. In that essence, like I would say, don't crack under pressure. Just because the agent gave you the listing on Wednesday and potentially say, hey, I'm actually going to put the listing up onto realestate.com.au on Friday. So if you do want the deal, come back to me quickly. Just be mindful that could be a trick as well to try to push you into making a rush decision. Okay, so another thing is to think about why this deal is off market. I guess a lot of times, when you've been sent an email or got a phone call from the agent, you can always ask questions. Hey, is there a reason why this is being marketed as off market? Is there a good reason? Like, for example, the agent might say, okay, well, it's because it's a distressed sell and therefore, like the vendor really wants to get rid of it quickly, or they want to maximize their profit, therefore they don't really want to put it on to realestate.com.au to save some marketing costs there, for example. And if that's the case, then you can pick up, okay, well, there's distressed sales. There's signals here. So, like you could potentially capitalize on that opportunity because in that case, it could be a desperate vendor and it could be open to negotiation in terms of further discounting or a shorter settlement period in that case then. So, pick up and ask questions. Basically, if there's things that you don't understand, ask questions and do your due diligence. Now, understand, because in a lot of time, if it's a really good deal, yes, you might have to act quickly, but that doesn't mean that you need to shortcut your due diligence. Your usual due diligence checklist, you should still follow them through as much as you can, because at the end of the day, that due diligence list is your risk mitigation list. So, if you followed it through and you make sure that all the boxes are ticked in a shorter period of time frame, then that's okay. You are mitigating these risks so that you're making sure that you are buying this property at a reasonable price and not being affected just because it was advertised as off-market deal. So that in that instance, I would say never shortcut your due diligence process, no matter whether it's an off-market deal or an on-market deal. And also ask questions, ask agent, understand what the rationale behind why the vendor wants to sell, and like why they want to, why is it being put on as an off-market deal rather than a on-market deal. So there you have it. Here's a couple of those tips about what to watch out for off-market deals. Just to reiterate again, don't ever fall into the trap of the time pressure. Do all your due diligence as required and ask the usual questions that you would do, like as if you're buying an on-market deal. Okay, so never take shortcuts just because of the fact that it's an off-market deal. Once you've done this a couple times and your due diligence process should be fairly smooth, you can actually do the whole due diligence lot in a very shorter time frame. So you can then respond quickly to see whether this is real deal or not. I'm David from Lempower. Thank you for watching another episode of Invest Power. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment below. Otherwise, like our video, subscribe our channel, and I'll see you next week.